Hi there, I am Becky Franklin from Becky Franklin Coaching, and this video is part of a mini series I'm putting on all about cortisol, why it's important, why you should care about it, what it looks like, and what you can do to improve it. And especially if you are a mom, a modern day mom, if you are busy, if you're an ambitious woman, and you have a lot of go tendencies, you definitely want to listen to this series. So our first video is going to be all about the role of cortisol and what it does in our body, why it's important. And then our second video is going to dive into a little bit more of the science just of a hormone and what it looks like, the life cycle of a hormone in our body. And the third video is going to be about 8 things you can do to start to heal your burnout and regulate your cortisol, especially if you are a busy mom. All right, so let's dive in. This video is about the role of cortisol and what it does in our body. So number 1, cortisol helps regulate our hormones. The right amount of cortisol can help regulate our sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. If we have too much cortisol, we have what we call a cortisol steal, which steals sex hormones, so it will dysregulate our sex hormones, leading to irregular periods, potentially fertility, and just, our sex hormones help us feel good, help our metabolism, all those things. So cortisol helps regulate our sex hormones. It also helps regulate our thyroid stimulating hormones. So cortisol's role is to allow, it kind of acts as a gatekeeper, and it opens the gate for thyroid stimulating hormone to go into our cell and do its thing. And when we have high levels of cortisol, and too low cortisol, our thyroid stimulating hormone has trouble actually functioning. Number 3, and I do have notes because I can't remember everything. It helps balance our electrolytes. So it also helps balance our water and salt ratios in our body. If you have a tendency to crave salt a lot, that can be a sign that stress is highly elevated in your body. Cortisol's role is also, it helps shut down inflammation. High levels of inflammation can suppress our immune system. It's also correlated to autoimmune disease, pain, lack of recovery, all those things. So cortisol in the right amount actually is like a valve, and it actually tells inflammation when to turn off. So that's super important. Another thing cortisol is good for is it helps with our metabolism, and particularly weight gain around our midsection. When we have trouble regulating cortisol, you might get more weight gain around your waistline and your midsection. Also, midsection weight gain has propensity to enhance cortisol as well. So it kind of works in that vicious cycle. Another thing that cortisol does, it helps with our fight or flight. So it's great to, if we're under, someone's trying to steal something or we're trying to run away from something, obviously it's our fight and flight response. So it helps with that. And hopefully you only need that when you need it. You don't need that to be turned on all the time. And then cortisol also helps, this is an important one, our sleep and wake cycles. So its role is to manage our circadian rhythms. So basically helps us sleep when it's dark out and wake up in the light. In our next video, we're going to talk about, what cortisol should look like throughout the day, and healthy rhythms. But it definitely helps with our sleep wake cycles. And if you are struggling to sleep at night and stay awake during the day, potentially your cortisol might be dysregulated. So those are all the awesome things that cortisol does for us. But what happens if we are under a lot of stress, and this can look like, sometimes you might not notice it. This can look like persistent negative thoughts, constant anxiety, rumination. It could be overtraining your body, working out too much for your body. It can be, not sleeping properly, taking too many stimulants and drugs, and being exposed to too many toxins. This can all heighten our stress and cortisol response, and then our cortisol becomes dysregulated, and all of these super important roles that it does, now it stops doing efficiently. So I hope this video helped, and this kind of gave insight into why you should care about cortisol and why it's so important. And my goal is to help women who are experiencing burnout, who are experiencing cortisol dysregulation, get themselves back on track and learn to take care of themselves again and heal from burnout. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and you join me for video number 2.